Welcome to the Explainer. So you walk into a gorgeous modern home, and right there, acting as this vibrant living partition between the kitchen and the lounge, is a custom illuminated aquarium. The fish just seem to float effortlessly in the wall, right? It's the ultimate intersection of nature and high-end design. But creating that serene, minimalist vibe actually requires a staggering amount of hidden engineering. So today we're putting on our architectural hard hats to uncover the invisible architecture that makes these stunning aquatic features even possible. Quick question for you. Picture a brand new, beautifully designed, open concept living space. If you had to pinpoint the absolute heaviest and most mechanically complicated item in that entire room, what would you guess? Most of us would probably say a grand piano, or maybe a massive solid marble kitchen island. It's crazy to contrast that heavy, brutal physical reality with the tranquil, weightless look of floating fish. Well, let's dive right into this because the answer is actually a built-in aquarium. We're going to use an iceberg metaphor for this explainer because what you see above the surface, the glass, the water, the coral, is just a tiny fraction of the whole shebang. Beneath the surface, hidden behind the drywall and under the floorboards, is a massive, complex network of structural supports, life support mechanics, and environmental controls. So we are going to act as your architect today and peel back 5 layers of this masterclass blueprint. 1. The hidden heavyweight. 2. Designing the water story. 3. Access and lifelines. 4. Sight and sound control. And finally, planning for the future. All right, let's jump straight into layer 1, the hidden heavyweight. Have you ever actually stopped to think about the true static weight of a filled fish tank? I mean, it is absolutely staggering. An architect can't just look at the advertised volume of the glass box and call it a day. Sure, the water alone in a moderate 200-gallon tank weighs over 1,600 pounds. But engineers also have to factor in the heavy-duty stand, dense sand, heavy live rock structures, and massive filtration hardware. And here's the real kicker, the dynamic water movement. Think about the water sloshing around during maintenance or the force of heavy wave-making pumps. It's a living, moving mass. And obviously, all of that massive weight has to be safely distributed somewhere. This is exactly why architects absolutely must coordinate structural calculations super early in the design phase. They need to figure out how that load transfer will work. Is this multi-ton feature sitting directly on a poured concrete slab? Or is it resting on a framed wooden floor that's going to need extra joist or steel reinforcement? Sometimes it's even integrated into built-in cabinetry that suddenly has to act as a load-bearing structure. The support system has to be rated for the full sustained mass for decades. Moving right along to layer 2, designing the water story. The reality is, a high-end retrofit can completely destroy a home if the fluid dynamics aren't rigorously managed. When most of us think about aquarium water damage, we picture a total catastrophe, a glass panel shattering or silicone seams busting wide open. But the architectural reality is so much more meticulous than that. Architects aren't just crossing their fingers hoping the glass holds. They are actively designing impervious underlayment, meticulously sealed bases, and hidden leak pathways right into the structure to stop unseen long-term damage. Which brings us to a huge concept, secondary containment. Basically, these are your backup strategies, designed to manage water if plumbing connections weep or equipment mounts fail, which, let's be honest, can happen even on incredibly well-maintained systems. By designing a hidden leak pathway, maybe a sloped membrane leading to a monitored floor drain, or outfitting the space with smart leak detection devices, architects make sure a slow drip doesn't turn into a nightmare of black mold inside the walls. It is an absolutely essential part of the modern home's water story. Okay, next up is layer 3, access and lifelines. We really have to remember that an aquarium isn't just a static painting. It's a living, breathing ecosystem with all these mechanical guts that need constant access for top-ups, filter swaps, and heating controls. You can't just seal it up tight behind drywall. You have to design clear service zones behind and beside the enclosure. We're talking dedicated access rooms or pull-out panels so a technician can safely route hoses and power without creating crazy trip hazards. Plus, massive lights and filtration pumps generate a ton of heat. Architects have to build in dedicated ventilation so you don't get localized overheating inside that beautiful custom cabinetry. I mean, you could literally bake the equipment and the livestock. The stakes here are frankly incredibly high. To quote our source material directly, plumbing and electrical integration should be treated as life safety and equipment reliability priorities. Think about it. We are mixing high-voltage electricity with highly conductive salt water. or plumbing goes through walls, you need robust chemical sealing and highly accessible shutoffs. And electrically, everything must be strictly code compliant with GFCI protection, surge protectors, and impeccable cable management. It's not just about keeping things looking tidy behind the scenes. It is literally about life safety. Let's shift gears to layer 4, sight and sound control. Getting that super tranquil, calming look requires a massive amount of environmental mitigation happening completely out of sight. Let's look at this step by step. Step 1, managing LED light spill. Aquarium lights are insanely bright. If you don't control the glare or the reflectance off the windows, it can wash out the whole room, ruin your TV viewing, or even cause massive algae blooms. Step 2, pump vibrations. Aquariums emit this low-level hum from massive pumps and trickle filters. To fix this, pros use floating mounts and isolation pads so those micro-vibrations don't turn the wooden stand into a giant speaker. And step 3, adding acoustic dampening to the adjacent walls. If the tank shares a wall with a bedroom, you've got to coordinate with acoustical consultants so nobody is kept awake by the sound of gurgling water echoing through the framing. And that brings us to our final layer, layer 5, planning for the future. A truly great architect knows a custom build isn't just about opening day. They have to future-proof the whole installation for an owner who might inevitably want a bigger tank or upgraded filtration down the road. To prep for this, the materials surrounding the tank have to be bulletproof. We're talking humidity-resistant materials that won't warp and fully adjustable or removable exterior panels. On top of that, using the right reusable hardware, like specialized marine-grade fasteners and robust seals, keeps the built-in looking pristine, because no one wants to rip apart custom woodwork with a crowbar just to do some heavy maintenance 5 years later. Here's the core philosophy of high-end North Shore architects. Obsessing over all these invisible components is exactly what makes the final aquarium look so effortless for years to come. By expertly hiding the complex service paths, the unglamorous leak catchers, and the airflow vents, it allows the visual focal point, the beautiful aquatic life itself, to completely steal the show. But pulling off this invisible architecture takes a highly collaborative team. You've got the architect steering the ship, sure, but they have to work hand in hand with structural engineers for load limits, waterproofing specialists for containment, licensed electricians and plumbers for life safety, and specialized aquarium installers to handle the life support systems. Establishing all these parameters early on requires incredible coordination. You absolutely cannot do this as an afterthought. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with something to chew on. Whether you're planning a massive reef tank for your own new build, or you're just admiring one at a friend's house, think about the unseen collaboration happening right behind the glass. With all these hidden complexities required for success, is your dream home team truly aligned before you start building? Because at the end of the day, it's the invisible architecture that truly brings the magic to life. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep seeking out those structural truths hidden right in plain sight.